Welcome back to the channel, guys. In that little time lapse you saw there, I pulled off the factory exhaust manifold, which down there we go. Just not really going to help us make the power we're going to need to get this big chunky girl rolling, so pull that off. We'll replace that with something nice later. But revealed a little secret. Don't know if you can see there. Ooh, where's the light? There it is. A few of the exhaust ports are very wet. That's oil, so that would probably explain why our compression numbers were nice at the back but not so nice at the front, because the front 4 cylinders are oily and the back 2 are pretty dry. So it's burning a bit of oil in the front of the motor there. So yeah, need to investigate that and see what's going on with that. But that's a job for a little bit later. At the moment, got the power steering fluid draining out of the rack down there, because well, when you go fast you don't need power steering, right? And plus it's a little bit leaky, so might as well get rid of all that junk. While I've been gone, I've been messing around with a bit of the wiring. Messing with the wiring that originally runs across the floor here. You can see the marker left in the floor where it runs across, up over the tunnel and out the other side, and all the way to those connectors over there. But I thought I'd, it's in the way. So sat there, cut open the loom, exposed all the wiring, and now it's going to be run along, come firewall there, along the back of the cab, and then down along over the side there, because gonna need all this real estate for seats and roll cage and tubes and fun stuff. But now's the time. Gonna have to deal with this. Gonna have to pull out the dash, which apparently is an easy job, so we'll find out very shortly. And there we go, dash is finally out. Can see the big old aircon box that needs to go. Mostly because we don't have aircon, mostly because it just takes up space. Not entirely worried about weight on this car. It's probably going to be over 2 ton by the time all the cage and everything lives in here, and probably add some ballast to it as well. But so weight's not a drama, it's just more of flammable stuff like this that needs to go. I'm just trying to simplify the car and have the lowest amount of stuff that doesn't need to be here possible, so makes working on the car easier and makes it easier to just add stuff to it. There's going to be a battery living here, there's going to be fire bottles up in here, my fat ass over there, and just generally, I don't know what's going to go here. I'm sure I'll find something to add to the car that's necessary. But so to finally get up in here and get to the wiring, easier said than done. So this plug here is the one that feeds through the side here into the door, and because we only need the 2 wires for the electric motor here, which plug comes with a couple more than 2. So that's all been hacked off, which I'll open all this up later on and pull out all those extra wires. So it just leaves me with the 2 I need, which will run along, around and down over to our window switch that we're going to put in over there. Let's go around the other side and see that mess. So same thing over here. We've got, this is the factory little door connector, which has wiring for the interior light, which, you know, a little red cable tie means it has to go away. Got our 2 wires that we're going to run to our window motor, but then we've got all this. This all used to be window wing mirror wiring, which all runs down to this big connector that needs to go away. Got this spaghetti junction that runs brake light switch, accelerator pedal switch, and then we've got all this stuff in here which all goes through the firewall all to the front of the car, so that'll stay. This will all get cleaned up, and, you know, might end up with only I'm talking here. Might end up with only a few wires, but the plug will stay because, you know, it fits all nice and stuff. So now I've got to get this big box out, and apparently the light wants to be charged, so let's do that. So there we go, dash is out, heater box is out. So much room for activities now, except thought I'd go and get some PVC pipe that's the same size as the roll cage tube we'll be using, so 40-ish mil. The pipe we'll be using is about 42, but, you know, 40 mil is close enough for a handheld reference, and landing that over here somewhere. It's you know, I want it in the corner on some plates, but kind of, as you can see there, move my ass out of the light, the accelerator pedal's a little bit hidden, so that's not going to be ideal, so I'm going to have to move that over, which, not a great deal. Electronic throttle, so we can just, on the cage, we just mount a plate off there and bolt the pedal to the cage, that's no drama, but if you move the, if we go from here to here, a bit too close to the brake pedal, which we're not going to run the booster, so I don't need the factory brake pedal because I have to remount the master cylinder to the firewall anyway. So nothing's stopping us because that's where the pivot is now, the rod is now. So if we move the pedal over, maybe even mount it on the other side, so I'll have to change this, but changing it from boosted to manual brakes we'll have to change the ratio anyway, so reconfigure all this, probably mount it off the dash bar of the cage, so we'll get rid of all of this plastic goodness, but off camera I've been playing with the wiring harness. We've got the harness will run around there, that's pretty obvious. This is the harness removed from the dashboard. Well, it's now that much lighter. So that's ripping out all of the windows, mirrors, airbags, all sorts of junk. Radio. All sorts of junk out of the harness. I'll put a little picture up of all the harness laying against the dashboard and me mucking around with it, but it's a bit tidier. So we've got our CAN bus wires here, which I have to rejoin just to measure and make sure we had a good resistance, but so I'm going to have to rejoin them in the loom, make it all nice and tidy. Got all these factory splices that I'll tidy up because I've cut a lot of it out. So the only stuff that's here is now only the stuff that needs to be here. So we've got BCM, fuse box, the engine computer runs off that end into the engine bay. So it's all the bare necessities which we need to keep in this car to be able to keep the factory computer. Once we get rid of the factory computer, we'll be able to get rid of all this, but that'll be a whole other exercise in itself, rewiring everything completely as a race car instead of this half-assed, when it grows up, want to be a race car. So I've gone through and I've even pulled all the extra bits off all the extra wiring off the columns. So literally the only wires that'll be in the cabin are the ones that we have to keep, the ones that, you know, stop the car from running. And so next job will be getting all that brake pedal plastic framing out, and then the next job after that, I guess, is chipping all this sound deadener off the floor. So that'll be super exciting. Get some dry ice and knock that off, but I reckon that'll do for this video, and between now and then I'll get a grinder and cut that bracket off, and cut that bracket off, and cut that bracket off, and probably that one too, because, you know, it doesn't look like it does a whole lot. And then, yeah, dry ice, knock that off. Finally get around to making these door harnesses, because I've been saying I'm going to do it for a while and haven't got around to it. But now we've got the body side of the plugs all tidied up and ready to use. We've just got to connect that end to the switch that's hiding over there, put some power into it, some ground into it, and we'll have windows that go up and down again, which, you know, the car doesn't currently drive, but power windows needed, right? Always needed. And then we've still got to sort out that engine issue, pull the gearbox out of it and get that all ready to go, and yeah, dash cluster. Many things left to do, so much. We have a lot of time. We still got, you know, year and a half until I plan on having this finished, so probably should pick up some pace though, because we've done, what's this, 2 months, and I've emptied the interior. Still have a tray full of garbage and some borrowed tools, so we need to finish this off, I reckon. Get the interior ready for a roll cage, and then I can start measuring it up and getting that in progress, because that's going to take time and unfortunately a lot of money, but we'll get it done. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.